Hey, so in today's video, I'm gonna talk about how to reach the top 1% of any field while having fun. So I think those two things kind of go hand in hand because I think when you get to the top 1%, a part of that is just having fun with the process. So I'm gonna use three examples in today's video. One is gonna be sports, one's gonna be from my past, basically getting a podcast up to the top 1% of all podcasts. And the third one's gonna be today and what 2026 looks like and kind of the path forward, I think, towards anyone wanting to get to that top 1% in any field. So if I look at sports as a quick example for this first one, any athlete that I admire today, I often see a commonality where they had a coach or a parent or a coach who was a parent, basically, facilitating their growth, encouraging them, maybe obsessively to a certain point, but they usually carry over their love for something into their kid. And then the kid all of a sudden is, they're, I think a lot of people have talent that they don't really utilize, but this, oftentimes it overlaps where, they have a certain amount of talent, but the hard work hones the skill set, and all of a sudden they become someone where, at a young age they're getting into an academy or they're getting recognized, and all of a sudden with that early victories, they start to get more attention, more resources, and I think with that pressure, it ends up being where um, you know a lot of people can break, and there's a lot of off ramps. There's a lot of noise out there that can kind of pull you off the path. And so I'm going to end this first piece where you need to have that internal locus of control. You might have influencing people telling you, hey, this is the right path, but at the end of the day, it's got to be a mission. It's got to be a drive from within, that internal locus of control. And that brings me into the second piece, my past, where I had that around personal finance. This is actually the mic that was used for the podcast with hundreds of episodes, still today in the top 1%, which is just crazy to think about. But if I think about it, I had this desire to basically just I wanted a creative outlet to express all these different ideas I had learned from reading over 100 personal finance books. And I could talk all day about personal finance, but what is relevant for this video is that it was a self-driven process. It was because I wanted to do it, and it had nothing to do with the end result. It had to do with, this is where I am in my journey today, and this is what I want to do today. If I had started off fixated on this is where I want to be, and sort of future tripping in terms of living a lifestyle 10 years out or 5 years out, I don't think I would have had the motivation or the gumption or the willpower to do it. And also, I don't think I would have been smart enough to build the right systems because I think it just would have been too far removed. Whereas if I'm fixated on the today, here and present, enjoy the process, and I can remove the clutter so that I can enjoy the process. And that brings me into the third part of the story here is what's the one thing? In 2026, I think about it as my one thing is publishing videos. If I can get through the day and publish a video, success. I don't need to learn more about editing. I don't need to learn more about what's going viral, what are the trends. I just need to show up, perform in front of the camera in terms of just articulating a couple simple ideas that have helped me out tremendously. Ideas that I've observed that work well for other people, and ideas that I'm going to actually live by and actually follow through on my in my own life. So that's where I'm at today. This channel, I'm hoping to inspire other people to sort of, you know, kind of tune out the noise, focus in on what's your signal, and pull that signal out, right? Like, what are your values? What's your mission? And so when you walk into work or you walk into that hobby, you kind of have that clear focus. There's no resistance around what you're doing, and you're able to just show up and have some fun with it. So I encourage you to leave a comment. Let me know what's the one thing that you're focusing on this year that you want to see some meaningful results in, and that could be meditation, being more present to the moment. It could be something work related, getting that new promotion in your career, or maybe it's like picking up a new hobby. You want to learn a new sport or an instrument. But yeah, leave a comment. Would love to hear, if you stumbled into this video, what's the one thing that you're looking to drive towards? And I'll just end with, I think in a way we're all trying to become the top 1% in any field because I think it's fun. I think it's enjoyable to sort of, over time, the years are going to pass anyway. So why not master a few different skills or a few, enjoy some hobbies to that level? So leave a comment for that one thing that you're pursuing. and subscribe to the channel for more videos where I'll just sort of share, similar to here, right? Some just observations I've seen, some cases from my history, and sort of where this is all going. So, till next time, peace.